I don't think I've ever been more grateful for something than when I found this. Witchcraft. Honestly, the inspiration alone. Before all of this, life was bursts of color, but mostly just dull and gray. Felt brittle, like something could crack and escape within a second. I struggled so hard grasping for those bits and pieces that were full of bursts of inspiration. And now it just feels like every day I can sit down and create something. Whether it's a video or a piece of art, tarot card, I feel connected again. Before, it felt like I was just all alone a lot of the time, but also feeling there was a spiritual part of it that no one else wanted to talk about. And I found that. I found that here through YouTube, through finding other people and meeting other people whose beliefs share similar to mine. Witchcraft has given me control of all things, and at the same time shown me that I don't have that much of it and it's okay. It has given me the control to sit down and actually go after the things I want, to realize that these things are partially to do with what I am currently doing. And it's okay that after I've done everything that I possibly can, to let the universe take the reins. It has realigned me with self-love. I knew a long time ago that self-love was a thing that you had to constantly strive for, constantly check in with. And before the craft, it felt like such a chore. I did it because I had to, but it was like swallowing bitter medicine, yelling at myself in the mirror that I'm pretty and I deserve all the love that I can have. And now incorporating that aspect into the craft seems like such a natural thing. Like, of course I would take time to remember that I am worth loving. I thrive so much in actual education. Oh god, I could get lost in it. In the books, the scripts. If it is an interesting topic, I will dive down a Wikipedia hole so deep that I am never coming out, and I had lost that. It felt like, oh, I learned everything and there's nothing else for me to gain. As self-absorbed as that sounds, it was really a horrible feeling, because if I've learned everything, what's the point? About the craft, there's so many things to learn, and it has reaffirmed the fact that there's never things that you are going to know everything about. Even the things you love so much that you seem to study day in and day out, there's always something new to take, a new perspective to gain. Witchcraft reconnected me to nature. I used to never really look at trees and grass, rain and clouds. Kind of felt like this was all just here for you to move through, to not really feel. But now that's not the case. Now I spend time in dirt. I take notice of trees and rocks. Even living in the desert, I can see the beauty when the rain falls and spring comes. Feels like something worth worshiping, something worth taking care of, taking notice of. I've learned to accept the pieces of myself that I thought no one would. I've never been so grateful for that these ideas that I have that seem to make me a little crazy, that everyone was kind of looking at me like, you know, you'd so easily find someone if you would just get rid of that piece. But that wasn't it at all. Instead, I reaffirmed that I love this, that this thing that some people might call woo-woo or crazy are actually something that I love so much about myself, that I'm learning to accept every single piece of that, and regardless, go after those things and show everyone, yeah, this is me. Take it or leave it. It's great if you take it, and it's okay if you leave it, because I probably would have left you anyway if you didn't accept this. I don't do well in stagnation. I knew that for a long time. I always need something to strive towards. I think everyone should have something that they're going after. And even though I've learned to accept pieces of myself that I know I'm not changing, I now know that I can actually build off those. There's always something that I can really reach for, of that person in my head who is ever evolving, who is always going for more. Some days she's walking through a city. Some days she's just drinking coffee, petting her cat. That's my future me. And she's always just out of reach, where she should be. So I can strive and one day look in the mirror as I do right now and realize, oh, I got here. I'm 14-year-old's future me. That's a really cool thing to know. There's a foundation to build off of here. There's a set of ideas, though always expanding and changing and shifting, and it's like the earth constantly recycling and switching up what is the dirt that I'm actually standing on, and that feels fantastic. It's something that's ever-changing, yet always sturdy underneath me. This seems contradictive, but that ever-changing facet of knowing my spirituality and beliefs are there feels like I've got something to lean back on when I really need it. And 10 is belief in something again. in magic. Because this whole damn world can seem horrible with disasters and political conflicts, no matter what side of whatever you're on. And it can feel crazy. Like there's nothing out there that could possibly be helping everyone out. It feels like it's just an empty void that we might all go into, but I don't feel like that anymore. I have a belief in myself. I have a belief in the craft. I have a belief that I can actually do something. I have a belief that I can actually create something that other people might have some value in, that all of this is actually going to turn into something great, that the world is actually headed in a good place, that it's actually full of amazing good people. And Witchcraft gave me that. It gave me all these things, and for that I am so thankful. What are you thankful for?